Welcome again to the Salem State Library. Today we're going to search for images using ArtStor, an image database that houses hundreds of thousands of images for educational use. From salemstate.edu/library, we want to click on Find Articles and More, centered in the middle of the page right under the Welcome to the Salem State University Library. We want to scroll down until we see Databases by Name and click on the letter A to get to ArtStor. It's just a little bit down the page, and we want to click on ArtStor to enter the ArtStor library. In order to get into ArtStor, we need to go in the upper right-hand corner where it says Enter and click on the orange Go button. And one of the most important features to really capitalize on the usage of ArtStor and its breadth is to register for an account or to log in. And up here in the right-hand corner in another brown box it says Welcome to ArtStor. You'll click on Register. I have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in now so that I can use all of the features of ArtStor. And then log in. Now, all we really need to know here in terms of searching for images is just to use this basic search box. There are other advanced ways to conduct a search beyond just typing in the name of the artist or an artist's work. We can search, for instance, down below by geographical location, is looking for artworks from the Middle East or Europe. Classification, if we want to find sculpture or even video art, as video art is now loaded up onto ArtStor. Or even by collection, if we want to find what's in the Museum of Fine Arts Boston on here, or the Metropolitan Museum of Art, for example, we can do so. For this search, I just want to conduct a simple search. So we'll pick just any painter here. I'll type in Rembrandt, and I want to click on Go. And it's letting me know that there are hundreds of works by Rembrandt. In fact, thousands of results. I could do an advanced search to narrow that down, but for right now I just want to click on View Results to illustrate how we want to use ArtStor. And I want to show you one of the things that we want to do is that if we see images by Rembrandt here that we like, I can hover over and it blows up the thumbnail to a slightly larger thumbnail. Or I could highlight the work in red, which means I want to save it, as it were, to add to one of my collections or one of my folders up top here on the tabs as we see up above. But for right now, if I double click on an image, it'll blow the image up for me into a larger half-size, half-screen image so that I can see some of the details. Right underneath, see where it says I on the bottom, it says Show Data. And if I click on it, it gives me important data such as the title, the date, and even the material or medium, in this case oil on canvas. Believe it or not, it might not seem so obvious that a title is important, but oftentimes later down the road when conducting research, you'll notice that many of the same images have different titles. Many of the artists never gave titles to their works, and some of them were arbitrarily named by others who viewed their artwork. It also lets us know where it's located. This might not seem so important at first glance, but sometimes it's important to know, and especially can be, because, for instance, the Metropolitan Museum of Art takes great pains to not only produce images for ArtStor, but to give you multiple examples of the same image. In other words, it might be taken by somebody early in the morning at one point in time, and then taken again when the lighting is different during the day, and it gives you different resolution. The different resolution just means, for instance, as we see the download size, 1024 by 1024, means that it's a high integrity image, which just means, for instance, if I X out of the information here, hide the data, and I want to view details of the work, I can click on it to do so, and I get a detail as it loads up. Then I can even click again and see another detail. And you'll notice that as I get closer to the work, I do not see the pixelation, or those dots that oftentimes comprise images that we might find online that have a low resolution or are low quality images. And you'll notice what makes this remarkable in ArtStor about looking at the images, and one of the reasons I chose Rembrandt is because you can really see the distinct brushwork, for instance right here, on the jacket of the self-portrait of Rembrandt. And so If you're not able to get to the museum to actually see the artwork, the next best thing is to look at an image, but to look at a high quality image that reveals a lot of the details that you might be missing otherwise. One of the other nice parts about ArtStor, and I'll return this by clicking on this to reset the image, is that I can print a copy of the image, and I can also download a copy of the image. And I can even rotate it if I want to see a different view. Now, I have this image open. I can also, which is the other nice part about looking at these images on ArtStor, is I can choose any number of images here by scrolling down and just clicking on them. And by opening it, I can open two images at once, side by side, and take a look at them and compare them, which is one of the nice parts about visually dissecting these images. And not only can I open them side by side and scrutinize them and examine some of the details, the similarities and differences, but I can also save these images and export them either over into a PowerPoint, or I can download ArtStor's own offline image viewer and export these into the offline image viewer and set them up to be viewed side by side. This is great for the classroom or great for learning in general. For the time being, I want to X out of these images here, and I want to show you that once I've selected these images in red, once they're highlighted, means that I can perform a particular action here. In this case, I want to organize, go to this tab, and I want to add them to a folder. And it asks me, once I do the drop-down box, save selected images. In this case, I want to do a new image group. And you'll notice that I have a number of folders here, but I want to add them to my work folder, just something that I had named earlier. And I want to call this folder Rembrandt, for example. And I want to save, but I want to save and open them so that I know immediately that once I save them, that I know that they've been saved and they open right up in another window. Now, once I've saved and opened them, I get a message here that says they were saved in a new group. But the important part now, once I've saved them in a folder, is that I can share them. I can share them with colleagues or other students. But I can also, under the tools here, I can go into tools and I can save citations for these groups. View and export citations. But I need to save them first. So I save the citations for this image group, and another message will come across the top saying I saved the citations for this group. And then I go to Tools, and I can view and export citations. And you'll notice that I have a few images in here because I had saved a couple earlier when I was working on an exercise. And I can say that these two images here, I want to deselect these, delete my selections, and I'm left with the two images here that I have of Rembrandt. And it gives me the citation, which just means in this case the creator, Rembrandt, the title of the work, the date, and the repository, or where it's located. This is at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and this is at the Uffizi Gallery in Italy. Now, I can email these citations, but one important point here is that they do not save the citations into a known style. In other words, you're not going to find an APA style here, the MLA. They just give you basic information, and it's up to you to take the citation information and put it in a recognizable style. In this case, you're going to need to know the APA format. Look at the blog for examples in APA to guide you in formatting these images. Now, I want to X out of this, and I just want to say that there are so many other features to use on ArtStor, but for the time being, what you need to know is how to find these images, select them into a folder so that you can organize them into the folder, and then how to use the tools to save and view the citations. This will be part of your exercise to find your two images on ArtStor, or at least one on ArtStor, and to be able to cite it in APA format, and then to be able to write about the image in comparison to another image. Remember, if at any point you're having trouble using ArtStor or you need additional help, be sure to talk to a librarian right away. We're here and happy to help you with any questions you may have. Thanks.